Hey everybody, Andy here with Twisted Finances, and in today's video, we are going to compare and contrast traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. I'm also going to give you a couple tips and tricks so you can kind of figure out which IRA may be best for you. So be sure to stick around for the entire video so you know exactly how to maximize your IRA's potential. So first, let's talk about traditional IRAs, which are tax-deferred individual retirement accounts. What this means is that you use pre-tax dollars in order to contribute into the traditional IRA, and then through all of your working years, it accumulates in value and it keeps appreciating and appreciating, and then once you retire and you take that money out, then you will be taxed on the distributions. Also, since traditional IRAs are tax deferred and they are invested with pre-tax dollars, most of the times when you contribute into a traditional IRA, you are using money that is already taxed from a W-2 or any other type of earned income. So when you contribute into that account, it is actually going to lower your taxable income by the amount that you contributed into it. For 2021, the contribution limit into a traditional IRA is $6,000 a year, so you're able to decrease your taxable income in a year by $6,000. It is beneficial to note that dependent on your income, you might not actually be able to deduct your traditional IRA contribution against your income. So if you're a married couple and your modified adjusted gross income is more than $125,000, the IRS will not let you deduct your traditional contribution against your earned income. The limit for single filers is $76,000. So basically, if you're pretty well off and kind of already approaching being rich, or at least upper middle class, they're not going to allow you to deduct that against your earned income. IRAs are really awesome vehicles to use in your retirement journey, but the IRS knows how beneficial they are. So they do throw some catches and some caveats at you. Just know with the IRS, it's like going to Las Vegas. You know, the house always wins. You might win every now and then, but generally the house wins. Along the lines of being able to deduct that amount against your earned income is that it's actually a very good tax strategy if you have a balance due to the IRS, because you're allowed to contribute into an IRA up to April 15th of the year after the actual year. So for example, let's say you're doing your 2020 taxes and you owe like $3,000 on your federal return. The date is April 1st. You can actually contribute $6,000 into a traditional IRA on April 1st and classify it as 2020 in order to reduce your taxable income, to reduce your tax liability. One of the downsides about traditional IRAs though is once you reach the age of 72, you have a required minimum distribution. So according to your account size, your account value, and your life expectancy, the IRS will tell you you have to take out this minimum amount from your traditional IRA every single year. If you don't, then you can be penalized up to 50% on the distribution that you should have taken. So traditional IRAs can hurt you if you don't take out the required minimum distribution, but most brokers remind you of your required minimum distribution and will help you not forget to take that distribution in retirement. And next up, we have Roth IRAs, and I absolutely love Roth IRAs. I suggest to every single person that you should maximize your contribution into your Roth IRA after you take your 401k matching and you have your emergency fund set up. This is because Roth IRAs are funded with post-tax dollars. So you already paid tax on the amount that you contribute into it. And then while it is in that account, accumulating dividends and capital appreciation, it is completely tax-free. And when you retire and you decide to take the money out, it still remains tax-free. So the only tax that you paid on it was the initial tax that you paid on earning that income. Everything else, completely tax-free, and it is so gorgeous. Along with having tax-free income in retirement by using a Roth IRA, you're also not subject to the required minimum distribution that the traditional IRA has. So if you end up getting absolutely filthy rich because you subscribed and follow along Twisted Finance your entire working life, you don't actually have to take that money out. So you can leave it for your family, you can leave it for your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, and you can start building that generational wealth. And the contribution limit is the same exact for Roth IRAs as it is with the traditional IRAs, with a $6,000 a year contribution limit. And I explained to all my buddies and my family a lot about Roth IRAs, and they always say, it sounds too good to be true, right? I mean, it kind of is, but there are some catches and some caveats. The first catch being that the contribution limit is $6,000, so you can only contribute $6,000 a year. The IRS knows how beneficial it is. They don't want people funneling so much money into it and just being absolutely rich by the time they retire, because, I mean, why would you want people to live a great life, right? Thanks, IRS. Another catch about Roth IRAs is that there's actually income limitations on contributing into a Roth IRA. So single filers that make more than $140,000 a year are not allowed to contribute into a Roth IRA. If you're a married couple and you make more than $280,000 a year, then you're not allowed to contribute into a Roth IRA. So basically, if you're filthy rich, you kind of missed out on using your Roth IRA. However, there are things called backdoor rollovers or backdoor conversions from a traditional into a Roth. I'm not really going to go over it in this video because it's a little advanced. If you would like a video on that, just let me know down in the comments and I'll be able to make one. But just to keep it simple, that's what we're going to go with. So now that you know the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, you might be wondering which one should you use? Which IRA is best for me? And truly the answer is it depends, right? It all depends on the tax implications that they can have. So if you're a younger professional and you're just starting out in your career, you have 30, 40, 50 working years ahead of you, you're not really making a lot of money, you're making decent money, you're in a lower tax bracket, then the best route is to use a Roth IRA because you're already in a lower tax bracket and you're probably already generating a refund. So there's no reason to increase your refund when you can just invest that money immediately to have more time for your retirement account to accumulate value. And also, if you're building a foundation of passive income while you retire, having a Roth IRA and that tax-free income is just going to be absolutely beautiful if you think that while you're retired, you're still going to be in a higher tax bracket. But on the other hand, if you're kind of midway in your career or approaching retirement and you're in a high tax bracket and you're really thinking that you're only going to have your 401k and maybe Social Security in retirement, then the traditional IRA is going to be the best option for you because the contribution into your traditional IRA is going to allow you to take the tax deduction on your taxes now while you're in a high tax bracket. So it saves you taxes. And then once you retire, you're not going to have your W-2 income anymore. You're just going to have your 401k withdrawals and Social Security, maybe. So your tax bracket is going to be a lot lower than when it was when you were working. So you're paying less money in taxes by having a traditional than you would if you did a Roth IRA. At the end of the day, it's all about taxes, and the tax implication. That's really what it all comes down to it. Your best bet is to talk to a CPA to fully understand which one is most beneficial for you. I can only give a general answer to what may be best for you because I don't know your specifics. But for me, I'd much rather spend a little tax today if that means I'm going to save a lot of tax in the future. But tax rates and tax laws change all of the time. They're always fixing shit that's not broken. So it can be kind of risky trying to figure out which one may be best for you. But as things stay somewhat consistent and as the rates are now, what I discussed on which one should be best for you is applicable for now and for the foreseeable future until something else happens with the tax laws. But as long as you start investing now, you're going to be able to reap the rewards in the future. So don't get caught up on not really knowing which one you should go for and which one you should contribute into. Just go ahead and start contributing into something now and then iron out the details later. At least you can go ahead and start accumulating and compounding your earnings so that once you finally have a solid plan, maybe in 3 to 5 years, then you can figure out how to pivot and switch and everything. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this video provided value to you. I hope it answered any or all of your questions. If there was anything that I didn't cover that you wanted to be covered, or if you have any specific questions on what I talked about, just let me know down in the comments. I'll be able to go in there and help you out real quick. If you enjoyed the video also, please make sure to smack that like button right on the ass and feel free to subscribe. We put out weekly videos on financial content that helps boost the financial literacy of the population. We really try to supplement just the lack of knowledge of finance, and we do it for absolutely free. Will never be a course. I don't believe in courses. I think this knowledge should be widespread and wide known by every single working individual in America. So consider subscribing because of that. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.